So let's just dive right in. We have all been there, right? You spend hours and hours studying, you've got your highlighters out, you're rereading everything, and you feel super productive. But then the next day comes and it feels like it's all just gone. It is so frustrating. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's the method you're using?
Does this sound familiar? Pulling that all-nighter, feeling like you finally nailed the material, only to have your mind go completely blank the moment you look at the exam? You are definitely not alone. And believe it or not, there's a very real scientific reason this happens.
That's right. This isn't some personal failing. It's literally just how our brains are wired. See, to save energy, our brains are designed to clear out any information they don't think is essential or actively being used. There's a name for this. It's called the forgetting curve, and it is the silent killer of all our study efforts.
Now, this is what's truly wild. Look at how dramatic this drop-off is. Within just one day, 24 hours, you can lose up to 70% of new information. And then it gets even worse. Your brain basically treats all that harder knowledge like it's just background noise and deletes it.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. While we're all struggling with this, students in Japan are memorizing, get this, over 2,000 complex kanji characters and keeping that knowledge for life. They're not studying harder, they're studying smarter. They figured out how to work with the brain's natural systems, not fight against them.
So let's break down their first secret. This one is called active recall, and I kind of like to call it the samurai approach to memory. It's all about precision, discipline, and making your mind stronger.
And here's the crucial point. Most of us, we focus on input, reading stuff, watching videos, highlighting everything. But real memory, that's built through output. Active recall forces your brain to go in there and pull that information out. It's a much harder workout for your brain, and because of that, it's way more effective.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, that's what feels like work, but it's actually pretty passive. The right side, that's where the real magic happens. Just the simple act of closing your book, taking out a blank piece of paper, and writing down everything you can remember, that is probably one of the most powerful study hacks you will ever use.
And this right here is a huge mindset shift. You know that feeling of struggle? When you're racking your brain for an answer? That is not you failing. That's the feeling of a new connection in your brain being forged. You are literally building a stronger memory in that exact moment of difficulty.
All right, let's move on to the next set of techniques. So active recall is what you do, but when you do it is just as important. A lot of students cram, but these Japanese methods are all about cultivating knowledge over time using two really powerful systems. First up is the idea behind the world-famous Kumon tutoring method. The concept is super simple, but honestly, it's profound. Instead of trying to tackle a massive topic all at once and just getting totally overwhelmed, you break it down into these small, daily, bite-sized learning sessions. This way, you reinforce concepts slowly until it just becomes second nature.
The author James Clear talks about this exact same idea in his book, Atomic Habits. The power of getting just 1% better each day is that it compounds on itself. The Kumon method basically applies this to learning, which helps you build a really deep understanding without burning out. The second spaced system is something called spaced repetition. Okay, think of this like you're gardening for your brain. You wouldn't water a plant with a fire hose just one time, right? No, you give it water at regular intervals. It's the same idea here. You review information right at the exact moment you're about to forget it, which sends a huge signal to your brain that says, hey, this is important, keep it. So here's what that actually looks like in practice. You'd review the material after one day, then maybe again after 3 days, then a week, and then a month. Each time you do this, you're pushing that forgetting curve further and further away, basically cementing that knowledge into your long-term memory.
Okay, so our final two techniques shift a little bit from the what and the when of studying to the how. This is all about mastering your mental state and your environment to create the absolute perfect conditions for learning.
First up is Kaizen. This is a huge philosophy in Japanese business that just means continuous improvement, and it applies so perfectly to learning. Instead of relying on those crazy, intense, last-minute cramming sessions, Kaizen is all about small, consistent daily steps. No stress, no burnout, just steady, solid progress.
And it all comes back to this one powerful number. Just 1%. Can you improve your understanding by just 1% today? Of course you can. And over a month, that adds up to a 30% improvement. Over a year, the growth is absolutely exponential.
And finally, we have the art of the focus ritual. Mastery isn't just about technique. It's also about your mindset. This is the practice of creating a little ritual around your study session to signal to your brain that it's time to get into a state of deep concentration, or shuchu as it's known in Japan. Your brain just loves cues, so create a simple ritual for yourself. Maybe you always study in the same place. Put your phone in another room. Maybe you always use the same lucky pen or light a specific candle. These little things create a powerful trigger that tells your brain, okay, it's go time. It's time to learn.
So, we've covered 5 really powerful techniques. But how do you actually start using them without it feeling like another chore? Let's boil all this down into a super simple daily action plan.
And this might be the best part of all. It only takes 6 minutes a day. That's it. First, spend 2 minutes on active recall, just trying to remember what you learned yesterday. Next, 2 minutes unspaced repetition, reviewing something from last week. And finally, 2 minutes of focused practice on whatever today's new small topic is. It's totally manageable, it's consistent, and it is unbelievably effective.
So when it's all said and done, you have a choice. You can go back to that same old frustrating cycle of cramming and then forgetting everything, or you can adopt these smarter, time-tested methods and actually start building knowledge that sticks around.
And that really is the final question, isn't it? The most successful people don't just consume information, they take action on it. So are you going to click away and forget all of this? Or are you going to pick just one of these techniques, maybe that 6-minute ritual, and start changing the way you learn starting today? The choice is all yours.